Welcome to On Air with Kate Butler, where we are revealing life's best kept secrets. Hello. I want to talk to you today about something really important. And this is our mindset of marketing, behind marketing, all of the mindset around this marketing topic. So crucial. But I would love for you to start out with, and this is what's going to get us into our mindset today. Please tell me, what is something that you are most proud of up until this moment in your journey? In this project, what are you most proud of? Okay. Or one thing that you're proud of. If you're like, oh, I can't pick the one I'm most proud of, I have 5 things. That's fine. Pick one or two. Okay. So, what are you proud of? I want us to start identifying, right, how we sort through our thoughts, because it is so easy for us to detect what do we not like about ourselves, or what do we want to change about ourselves, or what are we going for next, right? But to actually pause and take that moment and say, this is what I'm proud of, that's actually a different neural pathway in our brain, like choosing different thoughts. It's not our normal way to think. We actually have to train ourselves to pause and celebrate, train ourselves to pause and be proud of ourselves, train ourselves to pause and say, this was a success, and really revel in it, right? And so I want to invite you to really take the time to do that. Don't skip over this part of the of the conversation, right? I really want you to type in, what are you proud of in this journey thus far? Okay. Something that you're proud of. Are you proud of showing up, taking the leap? Are you proud of yourself that you made an investment, right? That you normally wouldn't make an investment in yourself, and you made an investment in yourself. Are you proud of the message that you're bringing out to the world, right? So there's so many things, the connections maybe that you made, right? The awarenesses that you discovered even within yourself. There are so many things to be proud of. So what is something that you are proud of? All right. So I really want us to get into this psychological space of celebrating ourselves and self-identifying the things that we do that are really good along the way. Because this is going to be important when I dig into some of the things in marketing that can hold us back, from showing up as our full self, which is how our people are truly going to find us. All right. So I'm actually going to talk about 3 specific things today that are detrimental to our marketing of our message. Okay. The first thing is, and a lot of this has to do with how other people are receiving us. Okay. And these things can hold us back. So, one of the things that holds us back in marketing and doesn't allow us to express ourselves as fully as we would is other people's judgment of what they're going to think. What are they going to say? Right. And this is a major one. You know, some people are afraid to post. Some people are afraid to put up a certain picture. Some people are afraid to say what their true message is all about, because there's somebody from childhood, or there's somebody in your family, or maybe it's one of your parents, or it's a sibling, or it's your best friend from childhood, you know, but there's someone, or maybe multiple people in your life that you know are going to have something to say about this. The only way they can get to you with their judgment is if there is something inside of yourself that doesn't believe that you are good enough or worthy enough to take this step in your life. That's the only way the judgment can actually get you and hold on to you, it sink into you, get the claws in. Okay? Let me give you an example. For the longest time, one of my friends of 20 plus years could not understand the work that I was doing. She couldn't understand what it meant to be a coach. She couldn't understand what it meant to choose your thoughts. She couldn't understand how I got into meditation when we grew up with prayer. We grew up in, a Christian environment, and she didn't understand how meditation was just another form of prayer for me. And in fact, I had never felt so spiritual or so connected to God in my entire life until I started meditating. And I pray and I meditate and I journal with God, and I do all of these spiritual practices that really help me get into the space of communicating with my higher power and divine energy, right? But she couldn't get that. So every time I would make a post, there would be something to say. There would be a text, there would be something brought up in the next conversation that we had. And it was for the longest time, right? I was like, I opened the space for her to have a new awareness, right? Like I was not affected by it at all because I knew what I was doing was working. I knew what I was doing was changing lives. I knew what I was doing had changed my own life and my own path, right? But then I started to get into a little bit of a dip, as we do as human beings, right? We go through ebbs and flows. Things work and things don't work, right? And I was experiencing some challenges in my life, and I kind of allowed my practices to escape me for a little while. So she got in then, right? And she got in with everything that she had been saying all along, but she was actually able to get hold of me because I actually believed it for a hot second when she shared it then, because I was doubting myself, right? Because I wasn't as confident in my own work, because I wasn't doing my own work, right? Because I wasn't really making the practice successful because I wasn't doing the actual practice and the actual work. Do you see that? So I didn't feel like I was the real deal anymore. So I had to get back to showing up fully as myself. And only when I did that was she no longer able to affect me anymore. So it's actually the opposite of what we think. When we only show up halfway, right? When we only do the work some, when we only put out part of the message, it actually opens up a space for people to come in and grab hold in a negative way, right? It allows the judgment to enter. But when we show up fully, we feel into that message so deeply that there is actually no room for anyone to come into that sacred bubble that we have created, because we are truly just showing up in our truest essence. Okay? So that is part one. When we hold back, there is actually opening up room for judgment. When we show up fully as we are, vulnerable, transparent, messy hair, whatever it is, right? You guys saw my Facebook Live where I had the workout hair and, all the things happening, right? But I was inspired to share in that moment, and I wasn't going to let workout clothes or sweat dripping down my face or messy workout hair affect the message that I wanted to deliver. And I will tell you, I received so many messages from that. Thank you for just showing up as you are. We appreciate that you can show up after you're showered and you blow dry your hair, but we actually love seeing you this way also, right? Because it shows us all of who you are and not one-dimensional Kate. Does that make sense, right? So that's part one. Part two is that when we put out the message, so let's just say that we do put out the message and we put it out fully and we're totally vulnerable and authentic and we just show up in our message, gung-ho, guns blazing, you name it. Well, we might have an expectation that people are going to react a certain way. Like everyone's going to be proud of us. That was one for me. We might have an expectation that everyone is going to cheer us on because you would cheer everyone else on, right? We might have an expectation that everyone is going to be supportive of this. And it's just not the case, okay, for a few different reasons. First of all, we are not doing this. We are not doing this based on the feedback that we're going to be receiving from people, okay? Now, maybe that would be nice. And maybe some of that will come, okay? But we can't get wrapped up in where it's not coming from. We can't get wrapped up in I'm disappointed because somebody didn't say congratulations. I'm disappointed because somebody didn't acknowledge this new journey in my life, right? I'm upset because this person, was supposed to be my friend and she hasn't said anything about this huge leap I've taken. Okay. We can't get wrapped up in all that because we're not doing it for those people. So in number 2, I would invite you to come back to really, truly why you are doing this. Really, truly why you are doing this. And it's for that one person, that one life that you are going to touch. You are going to change their life through your message. That is why you are doing this. Okay. And they are going to reach out to you and they are going to say, your story, your message, your work has changed my life. And that's who you do it for. That's who you show up for. Okay. So we have to release the expectations of how people are going to respond to us and celebrate us and cheer us on. Right. And we focus only on, I'm showing up to change this life. Okay. So that's number 2. Okay. So number three is an interesting one. And this is holding us back from our marketing in the way of really having still that fear of being seen, that fear of visibility, that fear of, am I really saying this? Am I really doing this? Are people really going to understand what I'm like underneath all of this? This fear of being seen is a good one. And it's also wrapped up with either fear of being seen or fear of being too successful. Okay. And in either area, what happens is we trick ourselves into believing that it's easier for us to just stay where we are. It's easier for us to just stay here where it's safe, where we know it. It's not necessarily comfortable, right? Because so many parts of us are like, I want this, I want this, I want to grow, I want to change, I want to impact, I want to inspire, right? So it's not comfortable to stay here per se, but at least we know it. We know what we're dealing with here, okay? And if I step out, and I have to be seen, okay? And it's scary for me to show up and be seen. I feel like I'm standing on center stage in my underwear talking to an audience of 1,000 people, right? That's what it feels like to some people for a post, a Facebook Live, an email marketing message, an Instagram post, whatever it may be, putting up an Instagram story, okay? For some people, it literally feels like that nightmare of getting onto that stage, getting pushed out on center stage, standing in your undies and being like, here I am, and now I'm expected to perform, okay? There is a real fear of being seen. There's also a real fear of getting to that next level because all of it can feel very uncomfortable in the growth of it. So when you identify this fear of being seen and it's holding you back from really effectively sharing your message out with the world, and it's pulling you back to stay here and safe, okay? I want you to remember why you chose to take that leap to begin with, because you chose to take a big leap. And I am so proud of you for that. I am so proud of you for doing that. You have invested time and energy and money and support and compassion and effort. You have invested part of yourself in this. You have already pushed yourself so far, right? So we have to go back to, there was something inside of me that was bigger than the fear of being seen. Something inside of me that was bigger than that fear of success, bigger than that fear of going to the next level and making it or not, right? The fear of success and failure, it all stems from the same place, truly, okay? It all really stems from the same place. But it's also connected to this fear of actually being visible and being seen, okay? So when we have this come up, this very real thing that can happen to you as you start to expose yourself, as you start to expose your story, as you start to expose parts of your soul, parts of your message, parts of your past. I want you to remember, what was that feeling that was ignited inside of you that made you say, click, I'm doing this, send, I'm connecting with Kate, right? Like connecting with me on Zoom, saying, yes, this is for me. What was it? What was the pull? You wanted to go bigger. You wanted to play bigger. You wanted a bigger game. You wanted a bigger impact. You wanted to inspire more people. This was what you did it for. So when you get that fear of like, who am I to be doing this? People are going to see me. People are going to know me. People are going to know my past. People are going to know my soul. I want you to go back to that feeling, that fire of I am here to make a splash. I am here to live. I am here to make a big impact. I am here to change the lives. I am here to show up fully in all of my brilliance and all of my glory and all of my essence, because I have been given the gift to deliver this message out to the world. And I know deep down in my bones and in my cells and in my soul, I know deep, deep, deep down that I am here for this reason. I know that you are here for this reason. And I know you are here for this reason. And that's why you're here. So I just want to encourage you today, as these things will pop up as we continue to get ourselves out there in a more public way, that it's okay that these things show up. Because regardless of how often you put yourself out there or how often you market, these are very real things that we face. So we can now acknowledge them. We can now appreciate them for what they are. We can also call them now what they are, 1, 2, or 3 by name. And we can say, okay, I've been waiting for you, or okay, it's good to see you, or okay, thanks for visiting today. But you know where they stand? They stand outside the door of our minds. We don't open the door. They're not invited into the foyer. They are not invited into our kitchen. They're certainly not going to be offered a drink, and they are absolutely not here to stay for the party. They are at the door. We acknowledge them through the ring because we don't even open the door. We just push our intercom and we say, thank you very much for visiting today. And then we hang up and we invite them to leave. That's it. Thank you for playing. Yes, yes. Okay. So here we are. We can just acknowledge them. We can move on in all of our full brilliance. And that's what I would invite each and every one of you to continue to do in your absolutely brilliant journeys. I believe in every single one of you. You are here for a reason, to make a difference, to make an impact, and to change lives. I look forward to seeing all that continues to unfold.
Thank you so much for listening today. I would love to connect with you on social, and you can find me on Instagram and Facebook under Kate Butler Books. If you're interested in accessing some life-changing tools and techniques, you can grab those right off of the homepage of my website for free, and that is katebutlerbooks.com. And you can always check back here to download new episodes from our podcast right here where you listen today. Until next time, thank you for making this world a better place just by being you.